Do not mess up your early 20s.
If nobody on social media has ever said this to you before, I'm gonna say it. Don't sleep around. If you're
Cut your family off. Hear me out.
Do something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just.
Young, beautiful girl, this is what I want you to do in your 20s. This is what I want you to do in your 20s. In your 20s, I want you to prioritize yourself. I want you to have friends that are outside of your profession. Have friends that work at a bank. Have friends that are pursuing law degrees. Have friends that work in healthcare. Keep your circle different. I want you to never loan a man money. I don't want you to give him money. If he's not your husband, I don't want you giving him $1. Every money, every penny that you earn, you keep for yourself. You give it towards your family. I don't want you giving it to a man. I want you to notice those red flags in your partner or in a potential partner, and I want you to validate them. I don't want you to go through them. I don't want you to go through them twice. Validate them. Be okay with moving on. Be okay with being lonely.
3 things I wish I knew in my early 20s. Cut your family off. Hear me out. If your family is toxic, do not be afraid to cut them off. The best decision I have ever made was no longer spinning the block with my own relatives. I am not going to take several steps back in my healing journey by trying to heal in the same place that hurt me. Number 2, stop seeking approval from people that are not living your life. I cannot tell you how many people I know that genuinely do not make decisions without getting approval from family. Baby, you 36. I'm not asking you about anything I'm doing in my life. I'm telling you. And you'll be lucky if I do that. Number 3, your journey is not supposed to look like theirs. Everybody is not supposed to be in the same place or moving at the same pace. Nobody is doing better than you. You can only do better than you, because the grass that looks greener just might be fake.
If nobody on social media has ever said this to you before, I'm gonna say it. Don't sleep around. If you're young in your 20s or even in your teens, I'm gonna have a very real conversation with you right now. A lot of people may not agree with me. If you don't agree with me, that's cool. You don't have to. But if you do want to listen, then grab a chair. Don't sleep around. I promise you, it does more harm than good. A lot of people think that, like, since we're in a society that's really sexualized, you kind of have to get with the city girl mentality and the hot girl wave. And don't get me wrong, like, I encourage everybody to have fun and live their youthful days and turn up. But you can have fun. You can even date around without actually sleeping around. And my reasons for why people shouldn't sleep around have nothing to do with anyone else but you. I just feel like it does more harm than good. I talk about hookup culture a lot on here, and I just say, like, how at the end of the day, it makes you feel really empty. You giving your body to someone and them treating you like you're nothing but a means for them to feel good, it's gonna make you feel bad about yourself. And in turn, it's gonna cause you to have lower self-esteem. When you're giving the most precious parts of your body to someone and they don't even treat you like a human being, and all they say to you afterwards is, so how you finna get home, or are you gonna call your Uber, etc., etc., it's gonna make anybody feel bad. I don't care how tough you are, I don't care how hard body you are, it's gonna make you feel bad. It's gonna hurt. I know my makeup probably looks crazy right now, but it's the light, and just trust the process. But I'm saying, you don't want anything that's gonna just break down your self-esteem over time. You don't want people to just treat you constantly like you're a piece of meat. It does not feel good, and it's not gonna feel good. I feel like you're important. You as a woman, you're powerful, you're important. So you should only have actual interactions where people treat you as such. A lot of people feel like maybe they have to settle for being someone's situationship or being in a 10-year-long talking stage because they feel like that's all you can get. But I'm going to say this for the 100th time. Whatever you accept from life is what exactly you're gonna get. If you just are comfortable staying in a long-term situationship and staying in a long-term talking stage or whatever they want to call it nowadays, that's all what you're gonna get, because you're not demanding more from the men in your life or from the men around you.
Pieces of advice you need to hear in your 20s. If you're about to turn 20 or you're early 20s now, you need to listen. Number one, you don't owe people explanations. You don't have to explain yourself. You're grown. You don't have to keep explaining yourself over and over. You don't owe anybody an explanation. Number two, you don't have to have life figured out. You don't gotta have it all figured out. Like, you've only been an adult for a couple years. We're still learning how to do this adult thing. I'm 22. Number three, take that vacation. You young, like, take that vacation. Go to that concert. Take that cross-country trip. Do something stupid. Do something fun. Number four, you're not getting any younger. Like, today is the youngest you'll ever be again. Ever. So whatever you said you was going to do or that you want to do, go ahead and start doing it. Go ahead and work towards it. Like, what are you waiting for? Number five, this one is so important. Don't live on the internet. Don't run to the internet for happiness, and don't be on the internet 24/7. Don't be on social media 24/7. All it's going to do is make you compete, compare, and feel unfulfilled in your own life. Like, do some things in real life more than you're online. Read a book. Read a book. Number six, put you first. That should have been number one, but number six, put yourself first. Make sure you put you first. Like, don't think about how it will make anybody else feel before you do something. If you're inconveniencing anybody else when you do something, like, what's best for you, and put yourself first. In a friendship, in a relationship, with family, with a job, make sure that your happiness and your peace of mind, your mental health is first. Because don't nobody got to put up what's in here but you. Number seven, gratitude goes a long way. Being grateful for what you do got instead of thinking and complaining about all the things you don't got is not going to get you nowhere. You're just going to train yourself to be miserable and unhappy, always want more, and you're not going to get more if you're ungrateful for the things you do got. So start being grateful that, you know, you can see, you're not blind, you can hear, you can talk, you got all your teeth, you're not homeless, stuff like that, that you can walk, that you got both legs, you got both arms, that you can get out of bed and go walking. Be grateful for the things you have in your life now. Number eight, oh my God, number eight, look good when you go out. I'm not saying put on a full face of makeup, throw on the dress and heels every time you step out the door, but look good when you go out. So every time that somebody sees you when you're out in public, you're not wishing that you were hiding under a rock. I tell you, the days that you look terrible and you don't want to run into everybody, that's where you're going to see all your teachers, everybody you went to school with. That's when you're going to see your ex. It always happens. It never fails. But, like, also, like, look good for you. Like, make sure before you leave the house, you're happy with how you look, because it helps you build confidence as well. Number nine, you still learning about yourself. Like, you can get older and realize the things that you used to do, you probably don't like doing it no more. Or you're going to find something new about yourself. Like, oh my God, I never did this and I love it. I never ate this. This is not my favorite food. I found out I like pottery. I love pottery. I love to go paint some pottery. Number 10, this kind of go in with social media a little bit, but just because you're not doing what everybody else is doing, that doesn't make it a bad thing. Don't compare yourself to other people, because we can only see what people allow us to see, right? Number 11, get your emotion in order. Make sure before you get mad, before you yell, before you overreact to something, ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it worth me getting out of character? Is this worth me really caring about? Do I really care? Do they need to see me act like this? Like, is it worth it? Don't overcomplicate your emotions. Or, like, you know, when you're dating somebody and they do something you don't like. Okay, so are you going to cut them off? Or are you going to one-up them? You know, they missed the first date or something, or they didn't pick you up in time. Hey, this is not going to work for me. Like, I can't believe you, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. Don't give your emotions to everybody. Or you got somebody who did something shiesty to you. Somebody did something so shiesty to you, you don't have to explain yourself. There's no need to explain your feelings. They knew it was wrong when they did it. Cut them off. Number 12, learn how to think for yourself. We'll grow up doing things a certain way because our parents did it a certain way. And, you know, you might do it because this is how my mama did. This is how my mama did her potato salad. This is how I'm going to do it. What if that next recipe you try was better? This is how my mama disciplined us. I'm going to discipline my kids like that. What if that don't work for your kids? Because those kids are not you. Like, ask yourself, am I doing this because I want to, or is this like something learned? Like, was I taught to do this? Am I thinking this way because I was taught to think this way, or am I thinking this way because I wanted to? And I don't know if I said this one.
13. It's okay to outgrow people. Like, it doesn't mean that you got drama because you don't want to be friends with them anymore. You're not a bad person if you feel like you're in a dead friendship or in a relationship, or you're talking to people that you really don't feel like align with you anymore. That doesn't make you a bad person. And you don't have to hang on to something if it's not there anymore. But yeah, if you stayed to the end, this video long, so congratulations.
The one analogy that keeps me thriving in my 20s. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's say there's a wall in front of you, right? And on the other side of that wall is the dream version of yourself, the woman that you've always aspired to be. What you need to figure out is, how in the world are you getting to the other side of that wall to meet that woman? Don't let anything distract you from getting to the other side of that wall. If a man comes along the way, fine. Don't let him distract you. If you make some new friends along the way, cool. Do not let it distract you. Your only goal is getting on the other side of that wall. Every time you accomplish a goal, the wall comes down a bit. Every time you heal from past trauma, the wall comes down a bit. Every time you let go of those relationships that's stunting your growth, whether it's friends, family, romantic, the wall comes down. But every time you stick around or participate in things that you know is not in alignment with the woman on the other side of that wall, baby, the wall is coming up. How bad do you want to meet that woman on the other side of the wall, Bookie? You got to be willing to put that work in, okay? Girl, whether it's going to therapy, going back to school, getting that new job, whatever it is, put that work in. And before you know it, baby, the woman behind the wall is you. I am she, and she is me. Y'all, I promise I'm not trying to be super deep, but that's what keeps me motivated in my 20s. I got to meet that lady. Thanks for watching.
One thing I wish I knew in my early 20s, the thing that you hate about yourself the most is going to be the thing that changes your life. Please hear me out. Growing up, I got my butt whooped because I talked too much. Not talk too much in the sense of telling people's business. Well, I was telling my mama business, but I was like 2. But I used to chat. Like, I'm a good conversationalist. We can have a conversation about anything. If you bring up the grass, we gonna figure out how the grass grow. We gonna have a whole conversation in a thesis paper, because that's my way of connecting with people. I also realized I talk more when I'm in settings that I'm not comfortable in because it's a coping mechanism. But I have been insecure about that my entire life because no one wants to be the person known as someone that talks a lot. But baby, not only did God give me a powerful voice, God also blessed me with a powerful testimony. My story is one that at some point must be told, because God blessed me with that story because he knew at some point I was going to embrace the voice that people made me hate. And now that same voice is setting my daughter up for financial stability. It's building my generational wealth. It's literally making my dreams come true. It's already paying for my daughter's college tuition. She's 3. And not only is it changing my life, but only if you could see my DM, you would know it is changing so many other people's lives. And that's not me. That's God. 8 pieces of advice from a 28-year-old that everyone needs to hear. 1, it's okay to miss them even after you cut them off. I miss my mama every day, but that woman does not have my number. 2, no contact is going to change your life. Stop keeping people in your life that serve no purpose just to prove to them that you're doing good. They don't need to see you on social media living your best life. Trust me, they're already miserable. But number 3, you're never going to be ready to have kids. Trust me, I have a 4-year-old, and I'm telling you right now, regardless of preparation, you're never going to be ready. These little things change every day, and you just got to catch up. I'm fighting for my life. Number 4, your 20s don't have to be for dating. Enjoy yourself, baby. You only get these years once. 5, a comfort show. I'm telling you, having a comfort show has done wonders for my mental health. Sometimes I just need to escape the world, and I need to escape to one that doesn't exist in real life. And 6, being a people pleaser is not going to make them like you. People are always going to find something wrong regardless. And number 7, if you feel like you have to change yourself to thrive in that environment is not for you, baby. And 7 and 8, it's okay to be selfish, and it's okay not to give a fuck.
This is for my girlies who are in their 20s. If you're feeling lost, confused, alone, I've been there. I am now 29. I made it through my quarter life crisis. 20s, it's a really hard decade. You're transitioning out of college into the real world, learning so much about yourself. So these are some things that I've learned in my 20s that hopefully will help you. Give me a follow if you want to see more advice for your 20s. First piece of advice is just to focus on you. Find things that bring you joy. Discover who you are, your passions. Find and develop hobbies hobbies that you really enjoy and spend time with people that make you feel good. Your 20s is your era of you. You probably don't have a husband yet, you don't have kids yet. So just really take all of that energy that you can put towards other people and put it towards yourself. These are your years to be selfish. So with all that focus on you and self-reflection, you'll probably start to uncover things like, this is the career that I want, or these are the friends that I want. This is the life that I want. Now take action towards that. If you're unsure about the next steps in your career, network around and do coffee chats with people who seem like they're in jobs that you'd be really interested in. If you want to make new friends because you feel alone or you don't like the friends that you have because they don't make you feel good, think about how you can make new friends. It is a lot harder when you're out of college. The coworker you've wanted to get to know better, you can ask them to go to a workout class. If you want to just meet people, there's apps. You can sign up for different classes. Remember that you are in charge of your future. Lastly, just know that this is all temporary. When you're in your late 20s like me, you're going to look back and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was so worried about XYZ. What your life is right now, it can totally change in a year or two. You don't know. The next guy you meet could end up being your husband. Layoff that's happening or the career change you're trying to make probably propel you into a career you really enjoy. You found this inspiring, comforting. Let me know how old you are and what other questions or advice you want. I'm so happy to share.
3 things I need every 20-year-old to know. Please slow the hell down and do not rush through these 20s. I know it seems like 30 is literally knocking at your door as soon as you start getting through your 20s, because trust me, it goes fast. But that's why you need to slow it down. Everything and everybody don't have to be permanent. Every decision is not permanent, and it only gets better. Number 2, you're an adult now, meaning you literally don't have to keep asking people about your decision. Do not spend your entire 20s trying to seek validation. Start trusting in yourself. You made it this far for a reason. But number 3, you did not come this far to only come this far. 20s are the main years where you're really trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing with my life. This is not it. Like, there's so much more in store for you. If I knew when I was 20 years old what I would be doing at 28 years old, I would have shut my ass up a long time ago. But in a good way, though. Because I really was complaining about things that were already handled.
Hey, it's Mel. I'm 55 years old, and these are 13 things that I wish I knew when I was in my 20s. Number 1, the idea that your 20s is going to be the best time of your life, complete and utter bullshit. In fact, your 20s might be the hardest decade of your life, but listen to me. You're not broken, you're not a loser, and you are going to figure it out. Number 2, stop spending your money on stupid shit. Seriously, listen to me. Spending money that you do not have on things that you do not need, it does not make you feel powerful. It makes you feel powerless. Number 3, you have so much time. You have so much time to meet the love of your life, to make 6 figures, to figure out your career, to start a family. Slow down. Your time is precious and you have plenty of it. Number 4, date the person, not the potential. I want you to ask yourself, are you truly dating the person as they are? Or are you dating them kind of wishing they were someone else? The fact is, no one changes unless they want to. So date the person, not their potential. Number 5, life isn't fair. And wishing that it was, it's not going to change anything. So stop comparing yourself to other people, because you can either throw yourself a pity party or you can trust where your life is leading you. Number 6, in your 20s, count your wins, not by the quantity of your paycheck, but by the quality of your circle. Every single time you make a quality connection, count that as the best damn bonus you could earn. Number 7, don't be a dick. Pretty self-explanatory. Number 8, you don't get to want it unless you've got the balls to ask for it. Stop pretending that other people can read your mind. They can't. If you want something, ask for it. Number 9, create a rock-solid morning routine, because it is the fastest way to take back control in your 20s. Number 10, get serious about who you're hanging out with. In your 20s, you get to choose who you spend time with. So spend time with people who lift you up, who share the same goals, who are supporting you and taking big risks. You know who these people are. Prioritize spending time with them. Number 11, be your own person. Stop doing things that you don't want to do. Stop saying you like things that you don't. Nobody likes a people pleaser, neither do you, so be your own person. Number 12, you're not in competition with anyone else. It's only you against you. There's enough love, enough money, enough success, enough friendship, enough everything for every single human being on the planet. Stop mistaking everybody else's wins as your loss. You're not in competition with anybody. And finally, number 13, when you are in your 20s, take the biggest risks of your life. It is the perfect time for you to move, to try a different career, to go back to school, to take that trip, mix things up. Because if you don't do it now during the perfect time of your life, you will live for the rest of your life with regret over the fact that you didn't, just like I do. So those were the 13 things that I wish I knew in my 20s, things that would have saved me so much heartbreak. It would have kept me from making so many mistakes. But the fact is, you can only go so deep on advice when you're doing a makeup tutorial. And so here's what I did. I created an entire podcast episode just for you. Because the fact is, yeah, your 20s can be really, really hard and very challenging. But they can also be one of the best decades of your life.
Do not mess up your early 20s. Here are some tips that are extremely crucial for you to follow in your early 20s. Don't get caught up in trying to grow up too fast. There's no need for you to be dressing like you're 10 years older. There's no need for you to be doing things that grown people do. Actually enjoy that time. Figure out your personal style and what actually fits you. Date, but still date with intention. Don't just date anybody just for the sake of dating. And there's no need to give your body to a bunch of people either. That doesn't end up benefiting you in the end. You can still learn what it is that you want and don't want in a man just by simply observing the people around you. Don't be friends with people who don't genuinely support you. If you have friends that you feel like you can't share good news or important information with them, then those aren't your friends. Surround yourself with people who genuinely care about your well-being and genuinely support your goals and aspirations.
3 things I wish I knew in my early 20s. Be celibate. I'm not saying be celibate for the rest of your life, but at some point in your 20s, it is extremely beneficial to practice some sort of celibacy. You do not know your dating standards until you know how to abstain from sex. I wish the version of me that has been celibate for a long time would just hug the version of me that thought that that was supposed to be a part of my everyday life. I'm not even attracted to the same type of people. And red flags start looking real red once you learn to actually go without intimacy. Number 2, babe. If you spent a third of the time that you spend getting to know other people on getting to know yourself, you would be so much further in life. That is actually a sub to myself. A lot of us have dated longer than we've ever really been single. And your brain chemistry is so much different when you're constantly focused on a relationship rather than focused on loving you. And until you allow yourself to be single for a while, your brain is going to get so used to absorbing other people's lives, it's going to start neglecting itself. I didn't realize until I allowed myself to be single for 3 years that I was dating the same type of people over and over again. That actually stemmed from my childhood. I was dating people that filled a void within me. And that void was abandonment and self-hate. But you won't know that until you allow yourself to live in solitude. And speaking of solitude, number 3, every person in their 20s needs to live alone at least once. I probably said this before, and I will say it again and again and again and again and again. It is a necessary process, a necessary chapter in your life that you need to embark on. It's called living alone. I cannot describe to you the feeling because you have to witness it on your own. Maybe when I tell you I was naked for a month, butterball, ass out. I try to describe to people that have never lived on their own all the time what it felt like to pick up my keys, to decorate my own apartment, to cook for me only. For some people, we already have children, so it's too late to live on your own. But I'm telling you, if you can help it, please allow yourself that moment of solitude because you are going to love it. I guarantee you. Follow me because you know I'm right.
I'm about to drop some wisdom on you, so listen up. I'm 34 years old. I've been through a lot of shit in my life, and these are things, part 1, I wish I knew in my 20s. There's gonna be a little bit of everything in this video. Let's do it. If you have doubts, you have them for a reason. Don't ignore your gut instinct on those things. If you have doubts about someone, they don't go away. They don't just
sort of go away. You can't really sweep them under the rug. Like, they typically amplify and get worse, and you have them for a reason, so listen. Talk to yourself like you would talk to your very best friend, like your favorite person. When you come out in an outfit or you come out with your makeup done, you're ready to go somewhere, like self-talk like that. People make time for the people they want to make time for. If he's constantly making excuses about how he can't hang out, he's always so busy, he ain't it. Learning to say no to things is just as important, if not more important, honestly, than saying yes. Forgiving people isn't typically for them, it's for you. Forgiving them allows you to let go of that negative energy, which can be super toxic to you, and like harboring that and holding on to it is the worst. So let it go, they're not worth it. Like this video and follow me if you want a part 2 of things I wish I knew in my 20s. Say thanks, but no thanks.
Hey guys, welcome back to All Things Jenny. I'm Jenny. So I've been wanting to make this video for such a long time, but I did not want to just share my advice. I wanted to find other women's advices also so I could share in this video. So I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys some of the advice that I have picked up throughout the years, throughout my 20s, and what have really helped me. So I highly, highly recommend that in your 20s, you should take the time to travel. Travel the world as much as you can. And even if you cannot go out of state, if you cannot go, out of the country, go out of state. Travel, and not only just travel, but travel alone as much as you can. Travel alone as much as you can, and even if you don't travel as much, try to do things by yourself. You will thank me later when you realize how amazing and freeing it is to travel by yourself. So I've traveled literally all over the world, and I've started traveling since I was, I'd say 17, 18 years old. I didn't do all of my traveling by myself, but I definitely did majority of them by myself. And even when I go out locally, I do a lot of that by myself. Not because I don't have any friends, right? But I do have a very small circle of friends. Anyways, so learn to do those things by yourself because it bring you this freedom when you are out doing things by yourself that you will find to be so deliberating, so really, like, it's such a relief to do things by yourself because you get over that shyness. You get over the fact that you have to do things with other people. Maybe you're someone who like to do stuff with other people. Do it with one friend or two friends. And I only started doing that because I like to travel. I would book my trip and then my friends be like, oh, where's my invitation, da da da. And then I would invite them, and it comes the time for them to make payments or pay, they cannot pay, they don't have the money. And I never fault them for that, but it always make me a little upset because I'm like, okay, well, you want to go, but you cannot pay, or at least the time that you have to make your payment, you cannot go, or you will start making payments and then it will come the time for you to go, you cannot go. So I decided to just do things by myself and just travel by myself, and it was the best thing I could have ever done. And also I do travel with this company called EF College Break, it used to call, but now it's called EF Ultimate Break, and you can make monthly payments. So actually this video is sponsored by it. So yeah, EF Ultimate Break, you can make payments for a whole year. Everything will be included. Hotel, flight, food, tour guides, everything is included. So that made it so much easier for me to actually travel the world. So it's amazing. But another thing that you should do too is take yourself out to lunch, to dinner, to brunch. Take yourself out on dates. Dress up, look nice, and go out and do things by yourself. Like, it's one of the best things that you could ever do. You get over the fear of doing things by yourself. You get over like people fear. Like some people just have this fear of like being by themselves. They have to constantly be on the phone or act like they're doing something or act like they're on the phone or something. You get over that because the first time I actually started doing stuff by myself and going out by myself, I would do that whenever I'm walking by like a crowd of people. I would act like I'm on my phone or I act like I'm texting someone. And I don't know if other people do that. Maybe I'm just the weirdo that does this, but I used to do that all the time. So then after doing it for so long, I'm now comfortable just going to like lunch and just sit at a restaurant at a nice table. And I'm like, I'm proud to say that I'm here by myself, And even if my friends were to ask me to go with them, I'd be like, no, I already have plans with myself. I'm going to do this by myself. And another thing too is learn to live alone and learn to actually be in solitude. Learn to be by yourself. I know I already talk about being by yourself, but if you can actually get to the point where you can live alone, have your own apartment, you will thank yourself later, because the freedom of waking up in the morning and getting out of bed. First of all, I love to wear like my nightgown and all that stuff, but I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like naked. I'm like naked. Like, what the heck just happened? And why are my clothes off? But I know that I take them off because I like the freedom of like being naked and sleeping on the bed naked. So I enjoy that. Guys, don't be weird in the comment section, okay? But anyways, like I love to just wake up in the morning, walk straight to the kitchen and make my coffee or make my tea, and I have absolutely nothing on. It's like the best thing in the world. And I'll just stand by the window and watch my birds because I have like a bird feeder and I'll like go and feed the birds and stuff. But of course I'll put something on when I go outside. But there's nothing better than that. I mean, there are days when I'll wake up in the morning and I will be naked the entire day and I won't put nothing on. It's like the best thing in the world. And you can only do that when you live by yourself or you live with a partner or something. But living by yourself, you have this freedom of like, just, it's amazing. Just take my word for it. It's like one of the best things I have ever done. I have ever did for myself, just living alone. And getting your keys and leaving, getting at the house where you don't have to tell somebody where you're going, just the freedom of, oh gosh, just thinking about it makes me just so excited, just so happy, right? So you want that as a woman. Living alone is like the best thing in the world. And if you're afraid to live alone, go to the second floor. Don't live on the first floor. Go to the third floor, the fourth floor. Go to like the higher floor, so you're not like afraid to live alone. Get a pet, get a dog or something. But it's like freedom, being able to live alone and enjoying your own company. And another thing that I would say all the time is go to the beach. Go to the beach. Majority of the time, I would go to the beach in the afternoon time so I can watch the sunset. Go to the beach and enjoy the water. The beach is so cleansing, especially when it's like in the afternoon time. It's about sun, the sun is going down. There's not a lot of people at the beach. You can literally sit there and watch the sunset. Bring a good book. Oh my God, bring a good book and sit there and read your book. And then even go in the water and just cleanse yourself. It's like, oh, it's like a freedom when you walk in the water, you cleanse yourself, you swim, you can hear the wave of the ocean, and then you get out, you dry yourself all off, and then maybe you just sit there and just watch the water. It's like the best feeling in the world. As much as you can, try to go to the beach. If you don't live close to the beach, go to a river, something, but try to cleanse yourself as much as you can. And let me tell you, because evil eye is out there and people can send you the evil eye without you even knowing. So if you can, as much as you can, go to the beach and cleanse yourself, it will cancel it all out. I believe in all that stuff. So, I like to just do it just for the heck of doing it, right? And also, what was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? Oh, plants. Get some plants in your house. Get some of your snake plants to cleanse the air in the home, all of that stuff. Get that. But guys, it is so important to have that time. And another thing I was going to say too, don't be going around and having sex with just any and everybody, lottie-dottie and everybody. Trust me. Save yourself. Don't be going around and having sex with people. And don't think that man is going to stay because you're going to give him the cookie and you think your cookie is the best one. Usually that's not the case. Maybe it is the best one to you, but it feels the same to them. It feels the same to them, and men will literally have sex with anything. So please, guys, don't think that your cookie is the best one, because at the end of the day, they will tell you that it all feels the same. It might be a new one, you're a new one because they haven't tried you yet, but it all feels the same to them. Unless you're just loose and you have no walls. But yeah, don't think this men think you're special. Trust me, all men are looking for the same exact thing. So you have to know this right now, that it is important for you to keep yourself. And as a matter of fact, they're more attracted to you when they haven't had it yet. Once they have it, everything's out the window. Everything they now their head is clear and everything is just different. And so trust me, don't give it up to no man because you want to feel like oh, you can hold him, you can keep him because now you give it to him and you're just tight. It means absolutely nothing. Okay. And have some self-worth and self-esteem, and also, have boundaries. Have boundaries for yourself, for your friends. Have boundaries, not just for the men that you're dating, but set boundaries for your friends, for your family, for yourself also. Like, for example, boundaries for yourself, in my opinion, could be, okay, you're trying to quit this thing, right? And maybe you don't want to quit cold turkey, but you have the boundary. Okay, I'm going to have one instead of 10 while I'm watching TV. For example, you like to eat chips and you want to quit eating chips or something. I don't know. Instead of having like 10 chips, you're going to have one chip instead of 10, So you have that boundary for yourself where okay, enough is enough. And you have the boundary for your friends where if they invite you out last minute, don't go if that's something that you don't like them doing. If they invite you out last minute, tell them, hey, I don't like to, go out last minute. I'm not going to go out. Or if you're dating someone, just you know what it is. You know what your boundaries are, but set the boundaries and stand on it 10 toes down, because at the end of the day, you're going to think your later self, your future self will thank you for that. Trust me, I had to learn that the hard way. You have to have boundaries, even with your family. Anyways, guys, those are my little things. You don't have to take the advice if you don't want to, but I feel like it works for me. And those are things that I actually wish that someone would tell me earlier in my life. That way I wouldn't have to make the mistake. And I'm one of those people who like to learn from other people's mistakes. So I don't have to, go through the trouble of, the mistakes. Anyways, so hopefully somebody learned something from it. If not, don't. Hey, those are just the things that I live by, and I feel like they have made my life so much better. And another thing too, go for what you want. Trust me, whatever it is that you are embarrassed at yourself about is something that somebody else admire on you. Okay, so don't feel embarrassed about something that, I don't know. Like, for example, I used to have a gap. So I have my Invisalign and I'm trying to close my gap right now. And for the longest, my gap was not my favorite thing. I did not like my gap, but for some reason, everyone who met me loved my gap. But I'll tell you, my gap was so big, my teeth were just throwing gang signs. Everybody loved my gap though. But to me, it was like the thing that I did not like. It was wide. It was like a door. It was like a whole door, right? And I didn't like it, but for some reason, everybody loved my smile and they loved my gap. And I'm like, I'm still gonna have the same smile when I close my gap, And I think it would just make me feel better to close this damn gap. And for the longest, I couldn't afford to close the gap. And my mom, she couldn't afford it. We didn't have good insurance. But now that I have a good job that gave me good insurance and I'm able to pay for it, so I ended up going and getting it changed and getting Invisalign to close the gap. Do something that you know is going to make you happy. Whatever it is that you feel is going to make you happy, do it. As long as it's not going to cost you your life, do it. Okay. It doesn't matter if other people like it on you. If you feel like it's going to make you happy to change it, because at the end of the day, it's your life. You're the one that have to look in the mirror every single day and see that face. So do what is best for you. Anyways, guys, I know I already said bye already, but this is bye. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye.